Hello everybody, and welcome back to some All the Mods 9 to the Sky. How you guys doing today? I hope you are doing well. I am. So, we are continuing our push to get this pack done. And we've got one great big huge obstacle in our way, and that is what we are going to take care of next. I have saved, we've gone through the pack. We're down to our last bits before we get to where we can make the ATM start, and basically it's all stuff that I dread doing. It's not that I don't know how to do it, I sometimes just hate doing it. Like, I hate doing bees. I hate doing what we're doing today. I hate setting up the mechanism reactors. They're great, and they're great sources of power, but they can I've had some bad luck with them in the past. I have just about destroyed a world because of it, and had to actually go in and fix it with cheats or with commands, and I hated that. But yeah, but we should be. I mean, I know how to do all of it. I can do all of it without doing all that. I just still hate doing it because I always worry that I'm going to mess up, because I am prone to do that. And then we've got the create bits, which really ain't much that we got to do. And then we've also got blood magic, and that won't take much to do. And then we've got to fight the chaotic dragon. We've got Project E, which we've got to get through what we're doing today to get into the Project E. And that's kind of where we're at with everything. So yeah, I want to set this to time. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to. So normally when we do this, we're doing the the fission reactor. I normally make one, and I collect what we need for the plutonium, and then switch it, and then collect what we need for the polonium. And this time, I think we've got to set up to where we can do a decent run with two of them. And keep them going and keep everything flowing pretty well. Right now, nothing is running. We're backed up and backed up and backed up on everything. So if nothing else, we still should be able to get through what we need to get through just with what we've got backed up. So, first things first is our fission reactor. We're going to need reactor casings. We're going to need reactor glass. I'm thinking the recipe for this has changed. I've got to set up a thing for enriched iron. We're going to need to make the fuel assemblies. We're going to need control rod assemblies. We're going to need reactor ports. And then we're going to... we don't have to make these, but we're going to, because I am going to set up the failsafe on it to see if it actually works. Not that we should get to anywhere that we should need it, but yeah, that's the thing. So, first things first, let's get rid of some stuff in my inventory, because I've got all these recipes that we're going to need in a minute. And I got to get the recipe for this guy, which I need to make a infusing factory, which we don't have. Let's do this. If I sit here and do all this together, we're not going to get this done today. So, let me get this guy set up. We looked at the parts. There's nothing. Steel casings, lead, reactor glass. We need the enriched iron, which I'm going to set one of these up with just coal pumping into it like we did our other ones. And then I'm just going to get all the pieces and parts made, get us an island set up, and then I will be back. Right, so I changed my mind. We're not going to go way out and do this. We're going to do this right here, front and center. That way, because we're limited on our chunks, how many we can really do. So we're going to do one of them right here, and then go back here and do one right here. And then we've got room on both sides to do what we need to do with our all of our, to get to the polonium and stuff like that. Plus, I can access our AE really close. So we're going to do, so 18 by 18 by 18 is the biggest you can do. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I think we're going to do a 12 by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's what we're going to do. So this has to be a 12, and we got to go up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I got to remember, you know, this is one of those things that basically I set up, and then it's set up at the end of the pack, and then we don't use it very much. Shoot. And I never can remember exactly how to build it. Alright, so there's that. We need, if we look here, we can ponder. Must be edges. Glass around all the sides. And then the fuel rods in the middle. With the control rod on top, but okay. Alright. So that is that. Now I need our reactor glass. And then I got to figure out exactly how many control rods we want to put in here, and go from there. Alright, so the fuel rods are put in here in a checkered pattern. I got like a whole bunch of stuff on me. So we can do it this way. But they can touch the sides, but they cannot be touching each other. There we go. We can do this. Sometimes it sucks having such good pickaxe. And then we should be able to just use our wand. We want to go one more. And I don't have enough. Beautiful. That should be enough. And then we want to give it our control rod. That was going to take a little bit longer to craft. Alright. We've got our control rods. There we go. And we're going to cover this up with, we're not doing the glass, we're just going to do the casings just because it's easier to just do right quick, because we can just go like this. Beautiful. And now it's fully formed, but we're not ready to go just yet. Every reactor needs 4 ports. So let's get those a-going. We might as well go ahead and do both sets of them. So we'll have one here for our fissile fuel to go in. We will have one here for our nuclear waste to come out of. We will put one over here for our steam that we will be generating. And we need one more port, and that was for what now? Coolant output, waste output. Wait. Coolant input for fissile fuel in, out. Oh, we got to get a spot for water. We'll put that over here. And that's that complete. Awesome. And I've decided we're not going to bother with the logic adapter. It goes into detail with it. You can make the logic reactor. You can do a really easy vanilla circuit to keep it from going critical. We should never get to that point. I say that, and then watch us. We'll get to that point. But I keep an eye on it. We can always take care of it. So now that we have all of that, I need to get, let's get some ultimate pipes. We're going to need, let's put all this stuff up for just a minute. We're going to set the first one up, and then we will set the second one up. We're going to need gases. We're going to need that's items and blocks. We're not going to need that. Fluids, we will need that. I'm also going to need a few sinks. We're not going to need 10 for just this one, but we will need a bunch of them once we get this going. We need to set that. We need our configurator. Output waste, output coolant, input only. So that's what we needed, just input only. And we just run through here and connect all this up. We want to make sure that we get enough water in this so it doesn't get hot. If it gets hot, then we get damage issues. It's filling up pretty quick. We can go underneath. Not like that. And we can do the same thing here. Is that all of them? It is. There we go. I did not want to do that. I did not want to do that. It doesn't matter which one we configure it with. That is. And then just bring this on around, and that should be enough to keep this thing cool. Awesome. Now we just need to get our fissile fuel from here to there, and we can use we can do this several different ways. I think what we're going to do is make us a quantum entangler porter. We'll set this down here. We will set this to public. We want that is fissile. We want this set to that. We want the side config to be it can be input and output. Auto eject on. That should have, that has not got fissile fuel in it. Gases. Auto eject on. Still not. Pigment, slurries, heat. That should be. Oh, I know what the problem is. We might want to set this to output. That now has a bunch of fissile fuel in it. This will refill. It's all setting up again. And if we come in here and look, we are making 128 millibuckets a tick with everything running the way it is right now. That is a lot. So, but we can make us another quantum entangler porter, which I don't even have a recipe for. We need to fix it. Alright, so this should be good to go with it the way that it is. Set it to input. Our side config, we want auto eject on, and we want this set to output, and this should now be getting, it is not. Oh, we might want to set that. Gases, output, auto ejection on. Now are we? We are full of fissile fuel. We are ready to go with the, well, we're not ready to go just yet. We're going to need to get our nuclear waste out of here into what we're going to be doing, but we also need to set this guy to output coolant. And we want a fluid trash can for now. One of these guys. And I don't know. I think that should take care of it. I think steam is considered a fluid. And then we want this one set to output waste. And that is what we got to set up next. Alright, so we're going to do the plutonium first. Our gases, we're going to need this guy to come out here. And there's a reason why we're doing this all before we get into actually turning it on. This stuff is all radioactive, and if we break any pipes or any machines that have anything in it, then we are going to deal with radioactiveness. And I don't want to deal with that. So we are going to need another isotopic centrifuge. We want this set to input on the left, output on the right, and energy on the back is fine. Wait, we want to make sure that that's all for the gases. Input, output. energy we can input on the back. Where do I have the energy at on this one? It's on a side of it. Okay. Alright, so we don't necessarily need speed and energy upgrades in this because we're not going to be generating it very fast. But we're going to do it because that's what we do. So these guys can go in there, those guys can go in there. We need another one of our ender gates. Is that not? It'll only do that. Okay. So we will output from the front. Why will that not go on the back? Oh, it would go on the back. Okay, so we should be able to output from the output, energy, input. Gases, we want auto ejector on. That should be good. Alright, and then these guys are going, this is going to go from here into we're making plutonium. So this guy goes into a PRC. We're going to have to give it water. We're going to have to give it fluorite dust. Should be able to do all of that with AE. So let's get a PRC set up. One of those. So we want this set to input the bottom. How do I want to do this? Back energy. The bottom we will set to input and output. And the right we will set to output the blue. And that will be our nuclear waste that we will have to get rid of. And if we, let's get this guy some speed and some energy. Let's give it some energy. And I don't know. Okay, they are. And then I need a export bus. Let's get an extended one. We want this to export fluorite dust. And we want it to export water. And then we've also got to give it what do I need? Oh, the fluorite dust. That is made in a crusher. So let's get that going. I don't know. We've got plenty of fluorite. So the dust. Into enricher. Ultimate crushing factory. And now we should be able to just hook all this up. So we are running on all the channels here. I'm going to have to bring us a channel off of here and do this. Yeah. Let me get all that set up. Alright, so I've got this all set up. We've got this, I've got a whole new P2P network coming over here, specifically for this area. We're putting water, fluorite dust, it's going in here. I moved our power to the top and put an import bus on the back to get our plutonium. So that should go in there, and all we've got left to do now is to output our waste, our spent nuclear waste, which this is going to be the fun part of this. We're going to go down, and we're going to just make us a great big grid of barrels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2, 3, 4. I need a lot more pipes. Ultimate gases. 100 is going to be way more than we need. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what we do from here is make us a bunch of barrels and put one at every junction, and this should be more than enough to keep up with what we're going to be doing, even with both of them running. So I need to get, we've got that set to output, so that should automatically input, and then we need to make a bunch of barrels. These guys here, they're not that expensive to make. And we'll make, I don't know, 200 of them. That'll make them, like I said, it'll make them pretty quick. And this should be safe now for us to turn on and run. Once I get these guys all put in and set up. Alright, well, it comes the part where we find out if we did this right. So let's activate it. This is doing a 0.1 millibuckets at a time. We can come in here and set the limit. Let's go to 2 for the moment. That is generating steam and it's not coming out. If we put that right there, that will automatically do that. So that is working. That is filling up with plutonium. That is not going to do anything until we actually get enough to do it. And for our first bit of, we need 1,000 millibuckets. We are not. Our temperature gauge is great. This guy's great. Let's turn it on up. Let's go to 10. And the main thing I want to keep an eye on is the temp. I know we're making enough fissile fuel to keep this thing going. I just want to make sure we're not getting into a spot where we're doing a critical damage with the temps. That is filling up pretty quick. How are we doing over here? That is still going up by a bunch. Everything is still working good. Let's go ahead and up this to 15. And we've already got our first piece of plutonium. And this is going to be where I wind up getting the radiation stuff because we need it for we unlock the quest, which we ain't got none of these quests unlocked. So I don't know how much let's do that. It wants us to make because we're gonna have to make all this stuff again. The fissile fuel, the hydrofluoric acid, we've already done all this. So I think we'll just let this go where it's going. But we do now have plutonium. And we are running out of water. That was what I was worried about. We've got more sinks. That is now going back up. See, that's why I should have been paying more attention. And we can go ahead and do this with it all. Just to make sure that we've got this all squared away. To where it is filling up faster. And then we'll do the other side. And there we go. That should be more than enough now to take care of this. And we have gotten 5 pieces of plutonium so far. Everything seems to be all right now. We're still gaining on our fissile fuel, which is great. Like I said, we're producing 128, and we just used 15 for that. So that we'll call a success. So I had hoped to get both of these done today, but it does not look like we are going to. So we've got reactor number 1 done. I think I will spend the time in between now and the next episode. We'll go ahead and get all these quests complete. Basically, we need to make the suit, which won't take much to do, which then all I got to do is grab the stuff for this. So, yeah, with that, 1 down, 1 to go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!